I didn't think much about it. It's like he just, hey, how are you? You remember me or not? And I'm like, who are you? Are you whoever? Then he's like, yeah lah, I lost my phone.
Welcome to the One Day at a Time podcast, where we take things one day at a time. Today in the studio, we have with us Cheng. Hi Cheng, can you do a quick short introduction for our audience?
Hi guys, my name is Cheng and I am a musician and also a content creator online.
Nice. Okay, so today I wanted to have a chat with Cheng because, contrary to popular belief, right, a lot of people who get scammed, actually 53% of people who get scammed are between the age of 21 to 39. So unlike, what people usually believe that mostly older people get scammed, a lot of young adults and teenagers also fall into scams because scams are getting quite elaborate. So I wanted to bring you in today because you have had, first-hand experience and second-hand experience with scams lah, with you getting scammed and people around you like being approached by scammers. So just wanted to speak to you about your own experience and how you managed to deal with all these things. Yeah, so you were sharing with me off camera that you were actually going through, or you actually experienced a scam episode, right? Can you share with us a little bit of like how you got scammed, like the story?
Yeah, so basically, I got scammed about $3,000, okay? And the whole story began when I reconnected with a friend over social media, right? Because I was just doing my prospecting because I was like promoting some products, right? So I was just reaching out cold market, hot market and stuff like that. So we reconnected and after a while, we started hanging out and he was like a really good friend to me. So he come and fetch me and then he come and hang out with me all the time and then basically spending a lot of time together like a brother, So at that point in time, the music scene was just starting up again after COVID.
Right.
And then I basically had lost all my income for the past like 1.5 years before it reopened up again. So I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I have a friend now. I have a job now. Okay, let's do this. My life is balancing out itself. So he started hanging out with me a lot. And then because when you hang out with somebody so much, right, you basically just trust them, right? Whatever they do, they tell you their life problems, even though it might not be real. It might be real. You don't know, right? So at that point in time, he was hanging out with me for a few months and then he started asking me, hey, can you lend me some money to basically tide me over some period lah. He got in trouble with some law or something lah. So I believed him lah. And I was like, okay, you need that $3,000 for what, right? He said to feed his dog. And then at that point in time, his dog was pregnant. And I still have no proof, right? So I just like blatantly just like trusted him.
Right.
And then I just gave him the money lah. He told me that he will return me in 1 month's time. And I'm like, okay, fine. He's wearing like branded stuff on his wrist. He's driving a car. He's like basically had his life put together. So there was no red flag at that point in time. I was just like, okay lah, $3,000, just lend you lah. And then I can earn it back ma, right?
Right.
And then 1 month became 2 months and then we started to drift apart. And then as of right now, I think it's about almost 1.5 years later. I think I don't see the money yet. Oof. So yeah, that's how I get scammed $3,000.
So it's actually kind of weird and kind of funny because the guy didn't approach you. In fact, you approached him, and as because you were just trying to do your work lah, do your business,
you're right.
And he, instead of you prospecting him, now he prospected you as a victim.
Well, he did buy the product in the end.
Okay.
And then he didn't continue for like whatever lah. So we still maintain the friendship. That's very important to me because I value friendships. I value people around me. And he did purchase the product and then didn't, but one thing led to another lah.
I see. So do you think, like, in your opinion lah, like he actually, put in the effort, went through the trouble to kind of buy your product, to kind of convince you that like we're friends, and then like spend time to like pick you up, hang out with you, so that eventually he can get to a place where he can ask for money?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely agree with you. So I think this is quite a good tactic though. Like you get close to someone and then you just betray their trust. I think quite cool from his perspective, like I guess.
I mean, but the
I won't do it.
effort
Yeah.
to put into that for $3,000 is pretty insane, isn't it?
Yeah, turns out I found out that he is not only doing it to me.
Oh.
Because after I did post some stuff online because Instagram, TikTok, whatever, right? People did reach out to me and say, is it this guy? I'm like, yes, how do you know? Then turns out he has been doing this to a lot of other people as well. And then the straw for me, the breaking point for me was definitely when he asked my brother for even crazier amount, like $7,000. Luckily, my brother did text me first. He said, hey, this guy is asking me for money. Like, how come? He looks very rich, right? So I'm like, no, don't lend him. Whatever reason he give you, don't lend him. And at that point in time, his reason was, I am stuck in jail.
Okay, that's pretty dumb lah. Yeah.
He's in Korea, he's stuck in jail. Like, in my head, it's like, which guy stuck in jail have access to his phone to ask for money from like total random people?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, that was my breaking point. In fact, I actually forgave him. I actually let it go because $3,000 to me, I can earn it back easily. But the breaking point was that he came after my family members. And I cannot.
And your brother didn't know this person?
He knows. Like we hang out, we
Right.
talk, we really hang out together. So he knows this person. He kind of trusts him. I think
see.
like everybody else also in their life. So it turns out that he's not only doing it to me, he's doing it to a lot of other people. I think especially women. I think so. The people that reached out to me were women,
I see.
and they kind of like in small sums, $2,000, $5,000 sometimes, and then it all adds up. You borrow $5,000 from 5 people, you got like what, 25,000?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow, but it's pretty insane to think that somebody would put in all that effort.
Yeah.
It's quite unbelievable lah. And but you have actually gone through it, and it's like, it's kind of like a love scam, because it said that this is like friendship. It's like almost like a love scam. And like you going through all these things, trusting a person, and eventually like they decide to basically take advantage of that trust to take money from multiple people.
Yeah.
And is this guy still around?
Yeah, he's still around. He still have the balls to be around, I guess. I don't know, man. Because we did, my brother went to search online, and then he found out that there are people who are actually trying to chase him down. And he owed like 100,000 out somewhere to people. So it's quite crazy. It's like a Tinder swindler, right?
It's insane.
But it's like a friendship kind of thing.
Correct. And also because it's quite, I think, very common. People always think that for scams, right? Like you always get approached by scammers. But this time, I also have a lot of friends who are doing sales, whether they are doing like real estate, insurance, or car sales. Because part of your job is prospecting. And it seems that there is a rise of scammers trying to scam salespeople.
Huh?
Yeah, because it seems like it. Like just based on the people around me, like I have friends who are insurance agents or property agents, or receiving messages and say, hey bro, I got $5 million to invest. You want to meet up and hang and chat kind of thing. So as a like financial advisor or whatsoever type of, you'll be like, wow, man,
land the big fish.
Yeah, I'm a lucky day, man. So you go out there and it's like, hey, I have $5 million, but then my money is stuck in the bank account in Switzerland. Like I need to pay some whatever to get it out. So like as a young, hot-blooded, hustling insurance agent, property agent, car salesman, or so, you're like, I want to close this sale. Then you just, I lend you my $5,000 so that I can close your $5 million deal, right?
Yeah.
So I keep hearing these kind of things where salespeople, because they are so desperate to close their deal, hit their KPI, that they become the scam victims, even though they are the one that is prospecting you. So it's similar to what you're going through. Yeah. Right? It's similar to what you're going through. Ooh, so
I think it's crazy, man. I really think it's crazy. So from what you're saying, right, that means all these kind of scams are getting more and more common. Like what you say, like the statistics show itself, right? So
correct.
I think like, wow, how are like that?
Because these scammers are actually smart. They know your pain points. Then they just
they are smart one, no? They attack your emotional point, emotional pain points. Like, I know you want to close this. I know you want to hit your KPI.
Yeah.
And then because I know you want to hit your KPI, I just need to entice you with something that is like imaginary, and then like make you think that I'm the big fish, and then come to you and then ask you, say, hey, actually I just need a small amount from you compared to $5 million.
Correct.
It's crazy. It's so smart.
I mean, yes, it is very smart. It's very elaborate. It's like
it is.
You need to like write your storyboard and plan out. It's like it's insane. Like you probably can do that thing and make a decent amount of money doing a professional media writer or whatever lah. But you choose to
dabble in this lah. I guess.
I mean, I don't think it's very sustainable, but I mean, I'm not a scammer. I wouldn't know lah.
Don't.
I'm trying to interview a scammer so that I mean, because it's, you know, what is going through the minds of these people, right? It's like in the long term, you think you won't get caught, you know, kind of thing. At some point, if you keep doing it, surely the popo gonna knock on your door lah, right?
Definitely for sure.
But even for you, right? Like the it's not just you. Like there are people around you that have experienced scams. Like for example, you made this TikTok video, right, that went viral, warning other people about this fake friend scam before it was even a thing. Yeah, can you share a bit more about that?
Okay, so I received a phone call. Me and my girlfriend were preparing to leave the office, and then I received a phone call. And I thought it was my friend because I really was trying to reach out to a friend who's Malaysian. And then suddenly this guy called me, and then he sounded exactly like my friend. And then I was like, oh, I didn't think much about it. It's like he just, hey, how are you? You remember me or not? And I'm like, who are you? Are you whoever? Then he's like, yeah lah, I lost my phone. And I'm like, okay, I lost my phone and this is my number. Okay, just save this number as my new number. And I'm like, oh, okay lor. Then I just asked him a few questions because we are related in the business. And I was like, oh, do you want to meet up on Saturday at this cafe? Then he said, yeah, sure. Meet up at cafe. Then after that, I put down the phone. My girlfriend came up to me. He was like, do you think that's a scam? Because my mother got the same phone call. And I'm like, what do you mean? Then I sat down. I was like, what do you mean? Right? She's like, somebody called her pretending to be someone, saying that he's someone, and then tell her to save the number. So turns out I'm not the only one. And at that point in time, one of our mutual friend, Peggy, she was in the office. She also received the same phone call as well. So in my head, it's like, wow, die. Why did I kena this again? Like something like a scam. So I didn't know exactly what was a scam about, but I know that it was a fake friend first. And then after that, I found out through TikTok because I posted the video online. It got like 500,000 views. It's crazy. The amount of comments inside the video of how many people are getting scammed, right, is insane. People say that they are getting scammed like $20,000, $4,000. I'm like, how? Then turns out somebody told me that they will ask you, hey, can you lend me money? The person will call you, can you lend me money? Can you lend me how much? I no money now. Then because you think that this person is your friend already, you just lend him, right? $200. And some, I don't know how, become $20,000 that one. I don't know how lah.
Ooh.
Crazy, right?
I mean, okay, so I mean, you were kind of lucky in a sense where like,
we found out.
I mean, you cannot scam before, so maybe you were a bit more cautious. And like when this happened, and just nice, your girlfriend's mother also had the same experience. Your friend Peggy also had the same experience. So you joined the dots lah.
Yeah.
You know, but what happened? What if that, you know, you were alone when you were do you think you would have like carried on with the meetup and eventually maybe got scammed?
For me, the most important thing for me during that time was to meet up the person because I really wanted to meet him, thinking that he's my friend because I need to discuss some things with him. So I would still persist on like just going to meet up with him and that's all. In terms of money wise, I'm not someone who will want to lend money to my friends unless they have a very special reason. And because I learned my lesson at the point in time.
Yes.
Then to me, it's like if let's say somebody has emergency, need money, instead of lending them money, I will ask them, okay, what is it that you need to settle? You need me to pay for your meal? Okay, tell me where you are. I'll order Grab food for you or something like that. I think that's more practical. And I received a few more after this incident, like even like in the past few months, somebody asked me to even lend like $50. I'm like, why $50? Then he said, oh, I need to eat. I say, okay, what do you want to eat? I buy for you. Where are you? Right? I buy for you. Then he said, oh, no, it's okay. Then you know that it's a scam really. You know that they're just trying to scam you really.
So, like, you know, you were, I mean, okay, you're a young adult, young person, and you almost fell for a scam and almost again because, you know, you were just keen to help people.
Yeah.
Then you almost fell for a second scam.
Yeah.
Like based on your own personal experience, what do you think are the the things to really look out for when people are trying to scam you, especially because nowadays, as we just discussed, scammers are getting quite smart and the tactics keep changing. Every month got new story, new pattern. Like it's a room full of scammers writing storyboards and stuff like that. I don't know, right? But like they are getting very smart. And the story keep changing. Sometimes it's fixed friends, sometimes it's love scam, and of course the police or whatever authority, this is very difficult to keep up because they keep changing their strategy, right? So based on your first-hand experience of you getting scammed, now you are a little bit more cautious, smarter approaching this. How would you what tips would you have for people who might just want to be more careful?
I think the main thing about scamming is that the scammers, right, they have this thing whereby they understand what emotional pain you are in, emotional state you are in. They'll try to sell you a dream, for example. They'll paint you this nice picture, and then if you, let's say you get carried away with the dream, right, then maybe it's a scam. But if you can identify that this situation is not possible, there's no way that you suddenly can get a $5 million deal. There's no way. If you, let's say you're not hanging out with millionaires, you're not like getting prospects here and there that links you to the 5 million, then it's impossible, right? Then these people will just just hop on this dream, impossible dream, and then they try to get you to believe it, and then they draw you in, and then you get scammed. So I think the first thing is, if it's too good to be true, don't believe it, or like just partially believe it until you have proof that it's possible. All right. The second thing is, I do not want to say this, but sometimes the people closest to you might mean harm, but not all, right? There's always like rotten apple here and there. So I would say that just take it with a pinch of salt. If somebody needs your help, for example, like what I said just now, if somebody say, I need money to help my mom, then you say, okay, cool, I can help your mom. Tell me where your mom is. Tell me which hospital. I will buy food for you. I will
pay directly.
Correct. Instead of passing them cash or just transfer them, don't do it.
Yeah, actually, I think that is this is the first time I'm hearing it. Nobody has ever mentioned it like that before, but I think that is actually a very, very safe approach, because
it is.
You still get to be the kind person that you want to be to help people, but at the same time you have like a defensive layer against people trying to scam you lah. And once you do that, like you said just now, immediately you will know whether this guy is legit or he's just trying to earn a quick buck off you, right? So essentially, like to summarize, your tips is, ask more. Don't just blindly transfer the money. Ask more, and if it's related to money, just help them pay direct or buy the things that they need, rather than just giving them upfront the cash lah, which you're unlikely to see come back to you lah.
Correct. That's the summary of it.
Nice. So like going forward, because okay, like you're quite young in a sense where like you're people in this generation, they're more tech savvy, and things like that. How about, for say like your girlfriend's mom, right? They're like people in the older generation, maybe they are less tech savvy. What is your opinion on how they should manage potential scammers, especially now that our country is becoming very digitized? Everywhere you go can pay now. Or digital scams are more common these days. Like, in your opinion, how would you tackle that? Tell your parents.
Well, I will tell my parents of the scam that I've been through. All right. I'll say, you see, there are so many things happening now. Maybe I will use statistics. I don't know. Right? So because parents are sometimes very difficult to convince. And they are the first like receiver of all this kind of news lah, this scam news lah. People fake their death or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
So digitalization, a lot of them will just say, it's very difficult, right? Because it's very difficult for me to convince them. I just want them to say that, hey, just don't believe whatever. Just take it with a pinch of salt, okay? 50% can liao, okay? Don't believe 100%. Somebody tell you, oh, invest $100, you get 15,000 back. No such thing, right? Don't believe in them. That's my only advice. 不要相信，不要相信 internet 讲的东西，不要吼。
Right.
That's all I can say.
Okay, so it's actually the same thing. The approach is the same, which is that if something is too good to be true, question it.
Yes,
and
question it.
Don't allow your own personal greed to overtake your logical mind basically. Right? And that is whether you are young or you're old, that is basically the approach to scams. Because just based on your experience alone and what I see around the news, it seems like the people who fall for scams the easiest are the people who are who are just kind. They just want to help. They just want to help, or
Yeah.
they want to achieve their own objectives, their own KPIs. But in return, they didn't expect the other side, the party is trying to just eat you up
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Question
right?
it. Yes, you have to question it.
Man, okay, so essentially, thank you so much for sharing the story. I think there are quite a few helpful points here, especially the strategy, right? The strategy of, if somebody asks for money, don't give. You can buy the item, you can pay for the bill directly, but don't give.
I'm sure you can pay it.
Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
And basically, don't think that I'm young and I'm smart, I'm tech savvy means you won't get scammed because for you, you're obviously very savvy. You're a creator, you're a musician, you run your own businesses, and stuff like that. You're obviously very savvy, but at the end of the day, you still got scammed $3,000, which is it's not a lot of money, but it's not little either. Like it's not $3 right? $3,000 is
Someone's
takes
salary.
effort. Correct. It's someone's monthly salary. Like it takes some effort to make it back. So it's not little either. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
And so if you're watching or listening to this podcast, remember that even though you might be young, tech savvy, and pretty street smart, but scammers are getting smarter these days. Sometimes
For sure.
maybe even smarter than us. So just be a little bit wary and just take some precautions. And so Cheng, if anybody wants to go and see that TikTok video that you made, or just connect with you, know more about what you're up to, where can people find you online?
You can follow all my socials at Cheng, AOCHENG. All right, you can search on TikTok and it will come up.
Awesome. AOCHENG.
Yeah, you're right.
Nice, on every platform.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, thank you so much for
Thank you
sharing
for having
today,
me.
Cheng. And we'll see you again next time on the One Day at a Time podcast. Peace.